Priceless desserts. I remember the first time I started baking, I learned how to say the word fish. Just happened, I got some fish today. Anyways, today we're going to be making some brownies. Using milk chocolate family size brownies. I really like milk chocolate more than dark chocolate, to be honest. Okay, so it tells us what we need. And it tells us what to do. Okay. So the first thing it says, set oven to 350 for metal or glass pan. Let's see now. Bake. So 350. Oh, perfect. Now let's start it up. Okay. Coat bottom of pan with no stick spraying cooking spray. That is when pan comes into use. Shake it up a little bit. You don't want to put too much because you don't want them to be like sliding all over the place. You just need a few sprays. You want to get the side. And you're good with the pan. Okay. Now, we can finally get to work with our ingredients. So let's open this up and get the brownie mix. Okay. Now, we want to keep the box because it tells us what to do. Put that to the side. Now, you need to be very careful with your scissors so you don't get hurt. You know, because if you get hurt, then you'll be in some trouble. And I don't want to be blamed for that when you're making your brownies. So have a parent with you. Even if you have to go a little crazy with the scissors. Yeah. Okay. So I got it open, kind of. Sort of. Let's see if we have different scissors. And if you don't have scissors, then you could just use a knife. But with a knife, you have to be extra, extra, extra careful. So I won't recommend it, kids. I'm just using it because I'm Makenzie. Okay. That was a little weird. So we need to take all of our brownie mix, this brown stuff, and we need to pour it into our pan. Not our pan, our mixing bowl. So we want to get all of it out. When we're done, we have to put it in our trash. Make sure that it's not like too clumpy, because then it makes it really hard. And you don't want it to be really hard, because like you don't want it to be like life. Okay. So we just have to put it all in. So I'm going to say you should start with your eggs, because eggs are probably one of the hardest, I guess you could say, because you have to crack them and you don't want to get no shells into your mix. Okay, so let's be very careful. One egg down. This needs 2 eggs, so make sure you have 2 eggs, not 1, 2. Do this again. The second one should have been easier, but it turned out it was a little harder. And if you need something to like wipe your hands on at times, you should have like a little napkin, nothing big. Now we need 1/4 cup of water. So you might want to roll your sleeves up a little bit if you have long sleeves, because you don't want to get yourself all wet. So I'm using this, and it has 2 sides. We want to look at this side, not the metric, this side. Okay, so it says 1/4. We have to find this 1/4, which is the lowest one. So it just doesn't say what type of water, it just says water. So I pour some water in there. I'm just going to put it down so it can locate itself for a second. Perfect. Okay. See, it's not that much. Wait. Yeah, 1/4. Yeah, I'm doing this right. It's not a lot of water because you don't want it to be melty. If you put too much water, then it'll be melty and it probably won't be as good. third thing, which is our last ingredient, 2/3 cup of oil. Oil is very slippery, and it's actually pretty big if you look. If you've got a new one, it's probably much heavier than mine is right now, because mine's only like a little less than halfway. So just be very careful with your oil. I recommend adult at all times. Okay, so 2/3. Find 2/3 before we do anything. 2/3 right there. It's just above a half. So it's bigger than a half, but not by much. 2/3, that's a hell of a lot. Okay, let's check. Need a little more. Ooh, I might have went up with too much. So I went a little over, so I'm just going to pour what I did over back in. We like to reuse our cooking ingredients, if you know what I mean. Okay, seems right about enough. This is a lot of oil. So that just says brownies are oily. YOLO. Hope I'm doing this right. I'm 100% sure I am though. Okay. Just because of the safety, put stuff like that. Stir 50 strokes with a spoon. I don't think that would be necessary to do 50. I think just when you think it's right enough. So when I'm stirring, I like to break that oak open because it just makes it easier. As you can see, all the good stuff, well, all the bad stuff, I should say, all the good stuff is on the bottom. So it makes it a little harder. But you want to make sure all this brown stuff is gone when you're done mixing. So let's just mix it up a little bit. Stirring it up a little bit. Stir. Okay. If you're a great baker than me, then I recommend you lift it up and do it like this, because then it makes it much easier. If you're little though, and I would have to say below 10 years old, I wouldn't recommend this much. I'm just going to put it down because my arm's getting tired. So we have to stir it up a little bit more. See, and it has been 50. Oh, it hit my finger. You want to make sure it has no clumps. I mean, it can have small clumps, but not much clumps. Because, you know, life is a little clumpy, but you always get over it. And it's just like, oh, a rock in the path. So let's just keep stirring. Oh, I got my finger on. How lovely. Almost there. You want to make sure you got all the sides, because the sides are so important. Stir it up a little bit more. Let's talk about me for a bit, because I'm awesome. So, I'm obviously Makenzie, and today I got some fish. One of them is zucchini. Well, one of them eats zucchini, so I named him Zucky, because he eats zucchini, and he sucks. He's a sucker fish. He's pretty cute. He's pretty small though, and he's very hard to find. And then I have another fish. His name's Hideaway. I named him Hideaway because he's the biggest one out of them all, but when I first got him, he was hiding in a tree. How funny. And then I got another fish. And this one, let's just say it was odd. It was a glowfish. And when I first saw it, it was pink. And it was really, like, highlight pink. And it reminded me of Lady Gaga. So I was like, I have to name her something after Lady Gaga. So I was thinking, Lady Glowfish. So that's her name. My favorite treat when making brownies is just to have a little bite of the mix. Shh, don't let your parents know. Spread into prepared pan. Okay. So now we have to put this tension at the beginning. It says 350 for metal or glass pan. This doesn't look so much like metal or glass, so I should probably keep reading. For dark coated pan, this, set oven to 325. Our oven's a little different, so we should always sit down because it always overbakes. Oops. So I just changed that a little bit, just so you guys know. Dark pans are cool too, you know. So now pouring it in. You might want some help if you're small, but if you're like me, then you can just do it on your own. Don't always put it in the same spot either, because then you'll have to do lots of moving, and lots of moving means lots of work. And life is better when you have less work. More fun time, especially after eating these. Okay. Whoa, we made kind of a little mess there. We'll just clean that up after. Okay. So it looks like it's just enough flat and even, obviously. This is done preheating, so we're gonna pop it into the oven. Time. If you have a 13 by 9 inch, which I'm guessing we do because it looks like it, because it's not even. So we have a 13 by 9. 28 to 31 minutes. Wow, that's a long time. It might not take that long. If you have a 9 by 9 inch, then it'll take 30 to 35 minutes. Just because it's a thicker coat. And when it's thicker, it has to go through. Thickest is 8 by 8 inch. And that is 45 to 50 minutes. Almost an hour. Whoa. We just need the less amount though, because ours is laid out. So, when you pop it into the oven, you definitely need an adult, because this is the hardest part of it all, adding it all together. You should probably get some mittens, because it's pretty hot in there if you ask me. I can feel it just from standing here. So I suggest you open it before you do it. Be careful though, it's pretty hot in there. Then you want to grab yours, and there's 3 different racks. So I suggest putting on the top rack to bake faster. So put it nice and center so you can still see it. You don't want to push it all the way back, just about in the middle. So let's close it. And now, be very careful because it's hot. Let's put it to the first thing I see. We want to close it. You would primarily turn it off, but I'm just going to leave mine on because of next episode qualities. Bingo. Okay, so don't touch it, please, because it is massively hot. Don't bite it, don't cut it, don't do anything. Wait 5 minutes for it just to cool down a little bit at least. And then you can slice it up, have an adult slice it up for you, and you can take your piece, sit down with your glass of milk, and eat.